As I'm sure everyone is well aware, there is a debate tonight between President Donald Trump and his challenger, Joe Biden. It starts at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. You'll be able to find it virtually on every single platform. I might live stream during it. I'm not sure yet whether I'm going to, so stay tuned for that. However, one of the main topics I'm sure Chris Wallace is going to bring up, he's the moderator, is this issue with taxes. And I really believe it's a setup. I really believe, and not in a bad way for the president, because there's something he can bring out. There's a piece of information that he can bring to bear that Biden won't be able to answer, the left won't be able to answer. None of them will be able to answer this. And everybody has forgotten about it. Now, earlier today, the day of the debate, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris released 2019 tax returns ahead of debate. Now, the reason I bring this up, it's important to know the facts. The Biden's returns show the couple paid almost $300,000 in federal taxes. Remember, federal taxes. It doesn't say personal federal income taxes. Federal taxes in 2019, including almost $288,000 in personal income taxes. So there's a little bit of difference there. The Bidens reported taxable income of $944,737. Okay, that's important to remember. Why is that important to remember? Biden and Harris, during 2019, were employees. They have been employees earning income from an employer. Therefore, paying taxes one way. Prior to Mr. Trump becoming president, he had never been an employee of anyone. He was a business owner. Now, when you're a business owner and you also have yourself on the payroll operating on behalf of said business, you have to put yourself on the payroll. Virtually every major CEO, and sometimes CEOs of even smaller businesses, put themselves on the payroll for $1 a year. Why do they do that? So the IRS doesn't double dip. Because you're earning money as the owner of the business. If you also earn money as an employee of the business, they get to tax you twice. Donald Trump was just doing what every other business person does. Taking all of the money that he makes and put it over on the business, the corporate side, instead of on the employee side. Now, for the last 4 years, Donald Trump has been an employee of the American people. And he has donated every dime of his salary to different parts of the federal government, literally to the people of the United States. And this is awesome. This fact, check your fact, was trying to paint the president in a negative light in this article right here. Sorry about all the ads, but it's the only place I could find this. Because it's a fact check. And it reveals where all of Donald Trump's salary as president has gone. Now, remember, we talked about the Bidens. Income of $944,000, $288,000 personal income tax. Kamala Harris and her husband reported paying $1.05 million in personal income tax and $1.19 in federal taxes on $3 million. Okay, that's fine. We're not going to talk about whether, that's too much money or not enough money. But what we're going to show is that's how much that they, quote unquote, as patriots, gave to the government. Now, you ready for this? Okay, so somebody put up a false meme saying that President Trump donated his $400,000 salary for rebuilding military cemeteries. Technically, it was not a correct statement, but let's read what was a correct statement. Trump has donated each of his quarterly paychecks to various government agencies, but none have funded rebuilding military cemeteries. However, Trump promised early in his 2016 campaign that he would refuse the annual $400,000 presidential salary afforded to him under federal law, and he appears to have stuck by that promise. Now, what's 400,000 times 4? $1.6 million. Donald Trump has given $1.6 million to the federal government in the last 4 years. Now, where did the statement about the cemeteries come from? The president has contributed his salary to various government initiatives, including some military-related projects. None of these donations paid for actual cemetery repairs. However, in 2017, his first quarter salary went to the National Park Service. The Department of the Interior announced in July 2017 that it would fund restoration projects at Maryland's Antietam National Battlefield. That's where this misunderstanding happened. Those funds, however, did not go toward the cemetery. The funds were reused to rebuild the historic fence line important to the battle and rehabilitate the exterior of the historic Newcomer House. So it was just a little bit of parsing of words here. But listen to the rest of this. 2017 quarterly salary donations went to Department of Education for a student science camp, Department of Health and Human Services for the opioid crisis, Department of Transportation for infrastructure. In 2018, first quarter salary, VA for caregiving programs, Small Business Administration, National Institutes of Health were second and third quarter recipients. Fourth quarter went to Department of Homeland Security. The first 3 quarterly payments of 2019 have gone to the Department of Agriculture, the Office of the Surgeon General, and Office of the Assistant Secretary of Health. So every dime, we don't have 2020 numbers yet, every dime he's been paid as president, he has donated $1.6 million. $1.6 million. What does that mean? Here's what that means. If you take what Kamala Harris, $1.05 million, gave through the IRS to the federal government, and you add it to the 300,000 here, that's 1.3 million. Donald Trump has given 1.6 million dollars just since he's been president. Now, on top of that, they are not talking about the taxes paid by the Trump Corporation. They're only talking about his personal taxes. So if you take that 1.6 million and you add it to the taxes paid by the Trump Corporation and also the taxes that have been paid to the state of New York, it far exceeds anything paid by Joe Biden or Kamala Harris combined. Fact. So, that having been covered, this is, of course, probably too much because I've spent the last, 8 minutes talking about just that. He wouldn't get 8 minutes to talk about it in a debate, at least not in a row, to explain it. Because people these days live in their fields and they live in their 150 character worlds. Now, that having been covered, this is something I was looking into a long time ago, and it is starting to come to fruition. A couple of years ago, people will remember, especially those of you who were on Patreon, I was talking about this very strange paradigm of women coming to positions of power. I'm not nothing against women, but women of a certain look, of a certain stature, of a certain attitude, coming to positions of power around the president. The first one that I talked about, lower right, Heather Nauert. She was a former Fox News babe. She became the communications liaison for the State Department, but she got promoted after a very short time there to the undersecretary, number 4 person at the State Department. Now that by itself, not a big deal. Kellyanne Conway, okay, still not a big deal. But then we started to see other people show up. Hope Hicks, friend of Ivanka Trump, left. And then all of a sudden, all of those kind of blondies went away. But she came back in February. And all of a sudden, we're starting to see this again. Marjorie Taylor Greene, the girl from Georgia, all of a sudden, her star is on the rise. Liz Wheeler at OAN, her star. Kayleigh McEnany and Stephanie Hamill, both from OAN, pardon me. I really think behind the scenes, these are the people pulling the strings. Hope Hicks and Ivanka Trump have been friends for a very, very long time. And people who have been on the inside in the White House have said that Hope Hicks acts a little bit more like Donald Trump's daughter, and Ivanka acts a little bit more like his spouse. Steve Bannon said that, and another man by the name of Wolf said this. They both independently corroborated this. This girl on the left, left the White House to go be the communications director at Fox. And now she's back at the White House since February. She is not an unintelligent individual. This Hope Hicks, I think she has a lot larger role to play in what's happening over there than people know. Now, this is an article from 2018. But recently, we saw this revealed, that President Trump considered daughter Ivanka as 2016 vice presidential pick. Meaning, if that had been the case, all he would have had to do is literally resign, and he could have made her president just by resigning. These are the things you're not going to hear in the debate. But really, truly, keep your eye on the women around Trump, because Biden's going to have very little to do with this. How this gets played out, how this election season goes, watch these two. And watch the images. Separate and divorce yourself from your own personal beliefs. And just look at it from high above. Not assigning yourself some type of a bias. And you'll see this. You will see this strange orbit happening around the president of almost no men in any real positions of authority, influence, or power. We've seen more of Ivanka than we have of Mike Pence. Truthfully. And look at all of the voices promoting the president, being seen as influencing within his circle. It is odd in the sense that it looks constructed. It truthfully looks constructed. And I think the reason I put her at the center and I put her in black and white is because I think this is the person right here, with the assistance of the person above her, that's really moving things at the White House. And we might see her in the White House one day in a position of authority. Neither one, her or her friend above, are as dumb as people would like you to believe they are. And to take one step even deeper down this road, if you look into her mother, Ivana Trump, Ivana was a very successful, very smart, astute businesswoman of her own even before she met Don. So it makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder if all of this hasn't been constructed somehow. So I will leave it there. Nothing against pretty women, nothing against women in general, but this looks very, very suspicious to me. And I will leave it there. Like I said, I'm going to see how this video does. If YouTube leaves it alone, maybe we will live stream. If they don't, maybe I won't. So, God bless everyone. Take care. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you next time.